Here.
Giddings. Here. Craddock. Here. Farrar. Brullo. Here. Guerin.
Here.
Harless. Here. Hildebrand. Huberty. Here. Menendez. Oliveira. Smithy.
Here.
Turner.
Quorum is present. State Affairs Committee wants to welcome everyone. Because there's so many individuals who would like to testify today, we will strictly limit testimony to 3 minutes per witness. We want to ensure that everyone has the opportunity who wants to testify gets that opportunity to testify before this committee. I'd also like to point out that there are 2 overflow rooms available to the public. They are rooms 120 and room 130. If the chair calls your name to testify and you're in another room, we'll call another witness until you can make it over here. When you arrive, please come in and let one of the assistants, either Rebecca or Bernice, know that your name, and so that you can be the next up, and we can keep this moving. Just as a reminder, only those with Capital Media credentials will be allowed to film or record this hearing. If you don't follow these guidelines, you may be asked to leave, so we do appreciate your support on that. At this time, the chair is going to lay out House Bill 60 and call on Representative Laubenberg to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. House Bill 60 is an omnibus life bill that has 4 parts to it. One part that deals with the preborn pain, and the second part deals with the ambulatory surgical centers. Third is the 30-mile rule for hospital privileges, and the last part that deals with medical abortions, aka the RU 486.
Reverend Laubenberg,
yes,
do you
sir.
have a committee substitute?
Yes, sir, I do.
This time the chair lays out the committee substitute to House Bill 60.
Okay. The committee substitute has 3 changes in it. Section 1 is a word change from the legislator finds wording to the findings indicate. That's in Section 1 at the beginning on the findings. Section 3, under both definitions and exceptions, profound and intermediate congenital anomaly is changed to severe fetal abnormality. This change aligns the language with Section 285.202 of the Health and Safety Code. In Section 3, this was an amendment that was added on the Senate side, and we are including this in committee substitute for House Bill 60. That is refers to the distribution of abortion-inducing drugs. And what it does is on page 2, number 2 on page 10 is amended to include, except as otherwise provided by subsection A. Basically, what it does is it allows the doctor to follow the guidelines of the OB-GYN college recommendations, which allows them to actually prescribe a lower dose. So those are the 3 changes in House Bill, committee substitute for House Bill 60.
Members, any questions? Pardon me? Okay. Members, are there any other questions of Representative Laubenberg? Representative Farrar.
Representative Laubenberg, so I guess I'll go section by section on your bill.
Okay.
And I'm trying to follow the order of your bill. If your reasoning behind this bill is that a fetus can feel pain at 20 weeks, do you have scientific evidence on this?
I had the studies that I believe I have given you.
I never received the studies.
Okay, I will certainly get them to you.
Well, I wanted them because I wanted to
Sure, absolutely.
run them through peer review groups and check them. Do you believe that the American Medical Association is a credible group?
Yes.
And you are aware that the Journal of the American Medical Association published a peer-reviewed study that states that fetal perception of pain let's see, their words are, is not confirmed before the third trimester, which is at or after 24 weeks. Are you aware of that article?
I think you brought that article up before, and I believe there was a different article that talked about that specific article that was in USA Today, talking about the research and the individuals involved in that.
Okay, that's foreign to me. You've not
Okay,
brought that up.
there will be a witness that can speak more on that. But yes, I am aware of the article.
Are you saying that this is peer reviewed, what you're submitting, and what is the commentary on this, on the Journal of the American Medical Association's article?
That it was a biased report.
And why was that?
Well, you have to get the article from the USA.
Okay, so I guess you're saying that it's a biased report too, even though it was vetted through probably one of the most stringent peer review groups that you're going to find. Okay. So do you know when viability occurs?
It has been debated between 20 to about 22 weeks.
Okay, I'm getting this from the OBGYNs that says it's 24 weeks gestation using the last menstrual period dating, which is what they do, what they use. All right. Are you aware, or do you know when fetal anomalies are normally diagnosed?
Normally is approximately around the 20-week period.
And yeah, that's true. And if the mother decides to go through a screening, there's another screening that's typically done at 12 weeks. Are you aware of that?
Yes, I actually had it.
But are you also aware that many couples that are low-risk couples choose not to go through that 12-week screening? Okay. So are you aware that anatomical structural anomalies are often diagnosed also at this 20-week period?
Yes.
And that when a majority of providers do this, they do this through a sonogram?
That is one way of doing it, yes.
Okay. So do you think it's possible that a severe anomaly that is incomparable with life outside the womb could be detected at about 20 weeks?
Yes.
That's conceivable to you for the first time? Okay. And did you know that once an anomaly is suspected, there are other appointments with specialists that would confirm these things?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know that there's often a wait time for these appointments?
Yes.
Okay. And isn't the decision to carry a pregnancy with a severe anomaly to term a very personal decision to be made by?
Are you aware there's an exception in this for fetal anomalies?
Yeah, no, I'm going to get to that because I had some questions about that. And so my question is it really fair for us legislators to make that decision for a woman and her family?
That's why I have the exception in here.
Okay, the exceptions don't cover everything, and we'll get to that.
Okay.
Are you aware, or do you believe that there are a large number of post-20-week abortions in Texas?
There are plenty of post-20-week abortions in Texas.
Would it surprise you to know that this is a DSH's Department of State Health Services number? That 0.57% of abortions in Texas were at 21 weeks or later. That's DSH's.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I have the information.
0.57.
That's a 5-month-old baby.
And you can say
That's a 5-month-old.
Pardon?
That's a 5-month-old developed preborn baby. Where you're beginning at 20 weeks and beyond. 20 weeks is approximately 5 months into the pregnancy.
No, I'm asking this question. Are you aware that number is 0.57% of all abortions in Texas?
It could be,
okay,
yes.
All right. Would you say that terminations that occur at 20 weeks or later are usually very wanted pregnancies?
Jessica, I cannot speak for the mind of every person.
All right. And that this... order, please.
I'm going to have to ask very respectfully that we don't have folks in the audience. If you're going to sit here, we're glad to have it. But if you're going to be making a lot of noise, that's going to be a problem. So I want to ask that you be respectful when you're sitting here with this testimony. And I thank you for doing that.
Respectfully, you asked me if I thought every child was wanted.
No, I asked you if you thought that this 0.57%
We're all wanted children.
were very wanted, were in a high likelihood.
Let me
wanted.
say this, no one can speak on what a woman is feeling when she's faced with a pregnancy, wanted or unwanted. But I can tell you every child is wanted by someone.
Right, and so if a couple is having to make this very awful decision, don't you think it's a very personal decision that the legislature should not intervene with?
And I think the legislature should be looking on the side of life and not death.
I don't disagree with that, but I'm trying not to dismiss the issue here that this is a pregnancy that's wanted, and this is a couple that very much wants to carry this pregnancy to term, but for whatever other medical reasons are occurring, they're not able to. And you're asking the legislature, us, to make a very personal decision for this couple.
As I told you before, I put in the exception for the severe fetal abnormality.
And we're going to get to that because I don't think it covers. But before we get to that, I want to make ask you about why in your bill you use non-medical terminology. You use the post-fertilization standard versus the last menstrual cycle, and why do you use that?
That is a medical term. Post-fertilization age actually is.
Isn't the medical standard the last menstrual period?
Actually, the post-fertilization age is also a standard, and it's a more objective standard because you are using more information than just someone coming in trying to remember when they last had their period, which is very subjective.
The OBGYNs have an issue with that.
Some may, but not all do.
The association does. So I just curious why you wouldn't use that. So let's go back. Let's get to the life of the mother.
It's a more objective standard.
Well, the medical professionals don't feel that way.